This is strictly a companion video. I'll just be filling in the blanks of my What Has DC Done Right video, which you can see by clicking on the annotation, or if you're on a mobile device, clicking on the link in the info box. This video will just be random segments that were cut from that video that I am providing due to popular request. Superman Returns is a different story. I think Kevin Spacey played a great Lex Luthor, and I think Brandon Routh has proven since then that he does have the chops to play a good Superman and Clark Kent. However, he was saddled with a subpar script that failed to give any of the actors any character to work with the only exception being Kevin Spacey. In 2011, we had Green Lantern. I'm not a fan of Ryan Reynolds at all, but I thought he did a good job with the material he was given. Martin Campbell is a good choice to direct. Heck, he successfully restarted the Bond franchise twice, so starting a comic book franchise would be right in his wheelhouse. Unfortunately, they were given a script so bad I'm not sure if even Martin Scorsese could have done anything for it. It didn't help that they decided to CGI the crap out of everything in this movie. In 2011, audiences were well aware and capable of detecting that fake glossy CGI look that this movie had in spades. And a superhero that looks like a cartoon with a head pasted on it isn't exactly the Green Lantern we all wanted. Getting Christopher Nolan in charge of the Superman franchise was a great idea. After his great Batman trilogy, surely he would do great with Supes. Zack Snyder was also a good call since Nolan would be in charge of the script. The entire cast of Man of Steel was also inspired. Only major player I was disappointed with was Kevin Costner. It's typical for him to give an emotionless performance, but here he felt almost robotic despite actually having some decent dialogue to sink his teeth into.
Maybe there's more at stake here than just our lives, Clark, or the lives of those around us.
Overall, Man of Steel was an entertaining movie with some major character issues that could have easily been fixed with some minor adjustments. Sure, Superman gets emotional and throws Zod through a gas station, and I can accept that. He's not a trained fighter after all, but he needs to show concern for the people in the gas station he may have hurt. And don't give me the gas station is empty line, because there's a car sitting at the pump. Clearly, at least the car owner would be nearby. Throughout the battle, Superman doesn't really seem to be concerned with the people outside the helicopter guy and Lois Lane.
You okay?
This movie is bogged down with tons of little issues that sabotage the character and weaken the story. I refuse to believe that somehow Snyder was being subtle with his ideas toward Superman's origin, considering the Jesus references were about as subtle as a nuclear war. I could go on, but probably better just to watch my first movie review, which I'll link in the annotations at the end. Then we get to the building of the DC Cinematic Universe, which will resume in a film starring Superman and Batman. It was a good idea to introduce us to a new Batman in a team-up movie since his last franchise is so fresh in our memories. Too bad the title has to be Batman v Superman. God forbid they just do a regular crossover movie. I can certainly understand a little fighting. Avengers had tons of hero versus hero fighting, and that was a great movie. But dedicating an entire movie to a fight between two heroes is just silly. Honestly, they shouldn't be fighting that long considering the power level difference. I'm not saying Batman has no chance against Superman, but I am saying 99 times out of 100, Superman is the easy winner. Letting Christopher Nolan go was a terrible move. What this means is that Zack Snyder is in charge of the DC Cinematic Universe, and he has already shown what happens when he has too much control over material. Even if he bases Batman v Superman on The Dark Knight Returns, which is a great graphic novel, that means he'll need to do some drastic changes to the script just to make a satisfying movie. The Dark Knight Returns is an amazing Batman story, and an absolute shit Superman story. So he'll have to take some liberties with the material, and he has shown zero good judgment when it comes to creative contributions.
Maybe.
And they had to cast Ben Affleck as Batman. Sure, you have actors like Karl Urban, who proved he could easily play Batman with Dredd.
This is Judge Dredd. In case you people have forgotten, this block operates under the same rules as the rest of the city. Mama is not the law. I am the law.
But instead, they cast Ben Affleck, one of the very few actors who played a character very similar to Batman in 2003 and completely sucked at it. I don't care if he never really wanted to play Daredevil and only took the role because it was like Batman, which he did want to play. Fact is, he had the opportunity to play a Batman-like character and sucked. Someone new should get a shot. And while Gal Gadot has potential to be a great Wonder Woman since she is essentially little more than unknown, their judgment has been put in serious question with the casting of Ben Affleck. It has become impossible to trust DCWB's judgment when they miscast Batman as someone who has proven he's not up for the role. Then we got the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice teaser, and while I like Alfred's speech to Batman...
That's how it starts. The fever. The rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
The rest of the trailer was just terrible. Sure, the line Batman says to Superman is badass.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
But why on earth would Batman ever say something so fucked up to Superman? It sounds like something Lex Luthor would say. But unless the trailer is lying, it's clearly Batman saying it, and he's saying it in a robotic voice, pretty much saying that the filmmakers have no faith in Ben Affleck to actually deliver a good Batman voice. Honestly, it almost makes me feel sorry for Affleck having people cast him as Batman that clearly have no faith in him to be able to play the character. But then I remember he's making a ton of money playing a superhero in a big budget movie, and I feel less sorry for him. Also, the intro to the teaser feels out of character for Superman, but it's honestly impossible to tell how it'll play out. I'm hoping from the look on Superman's face here that perhaps people are worshipping him despite his best efforts to have them stop. David Ayer is a good filmmaker and does have the potential to make a great Suicide Squad, especially with actors like Will Smith, Tom Hardy, and Margot Robbie in the mix. This movie could be great, even though they shouldn't be doing Suicide Squad so early. It'd be so much more exciting to see these characters as villains in other movies, and establish at least a few of them beforehand, instead of just throwing a shit ton of characters at the audience at once. But then Tom Hardy dropped out and was replaced by the guy who played the terrible version of RoboCop. But maybe I should give Joel Kinnaman a chance. RoboCop is just one role, and it is probably quite hard to play a character that is driven by emotions yet has no emotion. Probably don't give Peter Weller enough credit for how he nailed that character. And they just had to release this picture of the Joker, and I kind of like the super green hair, but I look at the rest and wonder if they are just trolling us. If you're gonna give him super green hair, why not go all out and give him super red lipstick to match? And the tattoos are all pretty stupid, except maybe that arm grin may work, and that's about it. They are all just typical shit outside of that. It looks like shit a Joker fan would get, not the Joker. And what's with this one glove? Is this Michael Jackson's Joker? And then we got the picture of Suicide Squad, and holy shit, there's a lot of people being introduced in this movie. Though, I think they look fairly cool. Enchantress looks a little lame. What is this, the homeless version of Enchantress? I didn't really like Harley Quinn's look at first, but it's grown on me. Deadshot looks great, except why aren't Deadshot's gun and eyepiece lined up? That makes no sense. His eyepiece is what he uses to make him a great shot. Why didn't they line it up? Is this a mistake? Why didn't they take 5 minutes to fix the fucking picture? Hey, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you really love this video, consider visiting my Patreon page. Every video I make takes conservatively an average of 1 hour per minute for me to produce. And the ad revenue on these videos does not give me a very large return. So if you go to my Patreon and only want to contribute $1, that's just fine. That helps me out a lot. I plan on adding some new rewards, such as DVD box sets of my videos, as well as t-shirts. If there's other rewards you'd like to see happen, please let me know. For more information, make sure to visit my Patreon page.